We all hit those moments in life, the real curveballs that make you kind of reach down and find something extra inside.
Yeah, definitely. Those times that really test you.
Exactly. And today we're looking at one such story, Michael Bolton. He recently opened up about his fight with glioblastoma.
That's right, a really rare and frankly quite aggressive brain cancer.
Our main source here is an E! News article that just came out April 30th, 2025. It gives us a real look into what he's been going through.
Mm-hmm. It details his experience, how he's thinking about it all. He's actually been dealing with this privately for, well, over a year now.
Right, and this deep dive isn't just about a celebrity getting sick. What we want to explore is his personal story, how he's facing it.
And put it in context, maybe.
Yeah.
Like how others in the public eye have handled similar health challenges.
Precisely. It's really about resilience, isn't it? Finding strength, how these things change your whole outlook. And the article does mention some other celebs too, which gives a wider picture.
Okay, so let's start with Bolton himself. The article says the initial diagnosis, just brain tumor at first, was actually over a year before this news broke.
A whole year. Wow.
Yeah, and then later confirmed as glioblastoma, which, just to clarify, it's a tough one. It starts in the glial cells, the ones that support the nerve cells in the brain.
Sounds like things moved pretty fast after that confirmation, though. Emergency surgery in December 2023.
That's right. And the good news there, apparently, was that they managed to get the entire tumor out.
Oh, that's huge.
It is. But it wasn't quite the end of the surgical road for him. There was a second surgery needed because of an infection.
Oh, okay. A setback.
Bit of one, yeah. And then came the next famous.
Yeah.
Radiation and chemotherapy. He finished all that up last October.
So where does that leave him now? Monitoring, I guess.
Exactly. Close monitoring. The article mentions he's getting MRIs, those detailed scans every 2 months.
Right.
And his most recent one reported as clear.
Ah, that's fantastic news. Must be such a relief.
Huge relief, I imagine.
And, something that really stood out to me from the article was his decision. He decided not to ask about his prognosis.
Yeah, that's quite a conscious choice. He mentioned finding comfort in general more easily that way, focusing on the positive, on the present. It's a very personal approach, isn't it? In these really uncertain situations, sometimes focusing on what you can control, like your mindset, it can be, well, incredibly grounding. Gives you a sense of agency, maybe?
He had this quote, it really hit me. He said, "You're reaching into your resources and your resolve in a way that you never would have thought. Succumbing to the challenge is not an option. You're really quickly drawn into a duel. I guess that's the way you find out what you're made of."
Wow. That really paints a picture, doesn't it? That fighting spirit.
Totally. Like you tap into something you didn't even know was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he also talked about how the whole thing just shifted his perspective on, well, everything.
Yeah. How so?
He said it gave him a heightened sense of appreciation. And then he added, it's unthinkable for it to be okay not to make the most of your life.
It does make you stop and think, right? Facing something like that must bring incredible clarity about what's truly important.
Definitely. And for him, it seems like that focus shifted, maybe broadened, beyond just his music career, amazing as that is.
Which is legacy.
Yeah, legacy, but in a really personal way. The article talks about his daughters, Isa, Holly, and Taryn, and his grandkids. He has 6 of them.
Okay.
And he's asking himself these big questions now, like, how do I give things that they can take forward? And am I doing the best that I can do with my time?
Wow. Those are deep questions. Confronting mortality really focuses the mind, I suppose.
It seems so. He's thinking about life lessons, love, validation for them, what mark he leaves beyond the platinum records.
And through all this, that fighting spirit seems, well, undimmed. He even named a new song, Ain't Going Down Without a Fight.
You really feel that resolve, don't you? And speaking of support, his daughter Taryn had this really simple, powerful quote in the article.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Just, we're in this together, and that's it.
That's everything, isn't it? That family support must be such a rock for him.
Absolutely crucial. Shows you the power of connection when things get tough.
Okay, so shifting gears slightly. As we mentioned, the E! News piece also touched on other celebrities. Quite a few, actually, who've shared their cancer stories.
Right. It kind of broadens the lens.
Yeah.
Shows this isn't an isolated experience, even among people we see in the spotlight. It reminds you, cancer really doesn't discriminate.
No, it certainly doesn't. It affects everyone. So maybe we can briefly touch on some of those other stories just to get that wider context.
Sure. Like Colin Egglesfield, the actor from All My Children. He's faced prostate cancer 3 times.
3 times? Wow.
Yeah. But the good news is he announced he was cancer-free again just this past February. And he had a really inspiring quote, too.
What did he say?
Something like, remember, you're not defined by any of your challenges. You're grander than it all. He talked about embracing the fear, the scars, as the only way to transform it.
That's powerful, owning the experience.
Exactly. Then you have someone like Jerry Turner, the Golden Bachelor. He shared his diagnosis, Waldenstrom's macroglobulinemia. It's a type of bone cancer.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he mentioned there's currently no cure for it, which, really highlights a different kind of reality some people face, living with cancer.
That must weigh heavily. He talked about that.
He did. He said it felt like 10 tons of concrete dropping on him. Admitted he was in denial for a bit. It really shows that initial shock, the vulnerability.
Yeah, absolutely. And the article lists quite a few others, right? Jim Beaver, Oriana Masks.
Yeah, from Desperate Housewives. She survived anal cancer and talked about feeling liberated and completely me afterwards. That really speaks to post-traumatic growth, maybe.
A sense of freedom after coming through it.
Then there's Dustin Hoffman, who was treated successfully, surgically cured, and Hugh Jackman, of course, with his multiple skin cancers.
Right. He's always reminding people about sunscreen, a really important message.
Definitely. And Camille Grammer, who battled 2 different types of cancer, Kobe Smulders, ovarian cancer survivor who went on to have children.
It really shows the spectrum, doesn't it? Different cancers, different treatments, different outcomes, but so many stories of resilience.
Absolutely. You got Christina Applegate, breast cancer survivor, Michael C. Hall, Hodgkin's lymphoma, Sheryl Crow, Michael Douglas, Edie Falco. The list goes on.
It's quite staggering when you see them listed like that.
It really is. From skin cancer removals like Michelle Monaghan and Ewan McGregor to longer battles like Sharon Osbourne with colon cancer or Robin Roberts with breast cancer, Barry Watson, Maura Tierney, Robert De Niro, Lance Armstrong, Melissa Etheridge.
Julia Sweeney even turned her breast cancer experience into a show, God said ha.
Right. And Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City, it's just, it touches so many lives.
So when you look at all these experiences together, alongside Michael Bolton's story, what are the main threads, the big takeaways that emerge for you?
Well, one thing that often comes up, maybe not directly from Bolton's initial share, but from many others, is the importance of early detection. Catching things early often makes a huge difference.
Sure. Regular checkups, paying attention to your body, that's a common theme.
Definitely. And then there's that recurring idea of resilience, that positive attitude, that determination we saw in Bolton's quotes, and in Colin Egglesfield's too.
Yeah, the mental fight seems just as important as the physical one sometimes.
It really does. Another big takeaway for me is just the sheer diversity of the cancer experience. There's no single story. Different types, different prognosis, different paths.
Right. It's not monolithic at all.
And also how profoundly these experiences impact people's perspectives. Like Bolton focusing on his legacy for his family. It often leads to this real reevaluation of priorities.
What really matters gets thrown into sharp relief.
Exactly. And finally, you can't overlook the role of support. Family, friends, like Bolton's daughter saying, we're in this together. That connection is just vital.
Such a powerful anchor. It reminds you that you don't have to face these huge challenges alone.
That support can make all the difference in coping and, just getting through it.
So wrapping this up, thinking about Michael Bolton, sharing his journey and all these other public figures, the main thing that strikes me is this incredible human capacity for strength.
Even when facing really daunting diagnoses.
Yeah. People find strength, they adapt, they find new purpose, they keep living meaningfully. It's genuinely inspiring.
It really is a testament to human resilience.
So maybe the thought to leave you, the listener, with is this. Thinking about Michael Bolton talking about finding what you're made of. What does it really mean for you to go the distance when you face your own unexpected hurdles?
Yeah, whatever those challenges might be. Reflecting on those inner resources he talked about. And maybe also the importance of the support systems we all have or need to build in our lives.
Because these stories, they're just a window, aren't they? Into the huge complexities of health, resilience, and how we navigate life's unexpected turns.